What's up, everybody? Joe White here, coming to you from my living room right now. Yes, I know, a nice flowered pattern sofa, red and brown curtains. Doesn't that match greatly? No. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about E3. E3 is coming up. Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Spectacular, Wackular Show, whatever he's calling it, is coming up. And I wanted to talk a little bit about those two things. Elden Ring, which is the George R. R. Martin, you may know him from Game of Thrones, is a producer, writer, whatever you want to call it, for a video game that's supposed to be shown at Jeff Keighley's show, which is tomorrow, actually. The Summer Games Fest kicks off tomorrow. That's what it is. Summer Games Fest kicks off tomorrow. What else here? I expect a bunch of shadow drops. Keeley loves to shadow drop shit. Um, Also, I want to talk a little bit about Sony. Horizon, they just did a big direct on Horizon. So if they show anything, I don't imagine it's going to be much. God of War has been pushed back. That doesn't mean we won't get a trailer. Um, what else can you bring to Sony? I mean, I haven't really been keeping up on everything. Sony Ratchet and Clank came out this week, or is coming out this week, so I don't imagine we'll see anything more than a trailer for that. GameStop has been told to double up their staff for Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, which they don't do that, I'm told, unless, sorry about the noise here, unless there's, golly, my hair is like, this is natural. My hair naturally mohawks. But anyway, sorry, that's the OCD in me. They've been told to double up on Tuesday and Wednesday at GameStop for staff. There's a rumor going around about the Switch Pro, which I'll get to in a minute. But there's also a rumor as far as PlayStation goes and Xbox goes that they are going to be pushing more units of the Xbox Series, whatever they call it. I'm not an Xbox fan. And the PlayStation 5, they're going to be pushing more units into the stores on Wednesday. So that's a week from today. Golly. I don't know. There may be surprises from PlayStation. This is their full year, their first full year that the system is out. I have not been able to find one yet. I couldn't afford one even if I could find one. And I think they know that. That's why I think they're going to have a lot of cross-gen stuff. I'm not mad about cross-gen stuff. I played Grand Theft Auto on my PlayStation 3 and on the PS4. I'm not mad about it in the slightest. I think maybe we'll see something about Final Fantasy VII Remake there. Square Enix is supposed to have a real big presentation. There's been rumors surrounding that a Souls-like game for Final Fantasy, which I'm not a fan of the Souls-like games, is coming exclusively to PlayStation. It's supposed to be set in the same world as Final Fantasy 1. It's supposed to be called Final Fantasy Origin. I think we may see more about 16. They've been very quiet on 16. Square has a bad habit of announcing shit and then letting 5 or 6 years go before we even see a trailer. Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, just to name a couple games. So I think that's kind of what PlayStation has up its sleeve. They're going to do a lot of partnership with Square. They're going to do some stuff I've heard with Sega. Who knows what they'll have. Now the big one. The big one for me, Nintendo. Let's talk about Nintendo. There's been rumors flying the last few weeks. Mario Kart 9. Here's the thing about Mario Kart 9. All these insiders, Nintendo Prime, Spawn Wave, Jeff Grubb, everybody on all the big sites, Game Explain, everybody who covers Nintendo has been saying this about Mario Kart 9, the rumors. They say, well, Joe, why would they release Mario Kart 9 when Mario Kart 8 is topping the sales charts? they're topping the sales charts. Sorry about that, folks. I was hoping to go find one. I thought I still had an example of this, but I guess I don't. So why would they do this if Mario Kart 8 is topping all the sales charts? Well, here's the reason why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been topping this. It may not be the sole reason, but it's definitely a big factor. As my cat's in the background. Shadow. Trying to record a damn video. Come here, Shadow. He's not going to come here. Anyway, a big reason why Mario Kart 8 is so successful is the fact that, come here. You going to come in or not? Stupid cat. No? Okay. So, sorry. I'm like that dog from Up. Squirrel. Anyway, a big reason why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been so successful is the fact that from 2018 onward, hell, I'll even go 2017 onward. No, I'll say 2018 just to make sure. Ever since basically every holiday since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was released, Walmart, Target, GameStop, Amazon, every retailer that sells the Switch has done a bundle. Nintendo does this. They put this out there in the stores every holiday season. Even when it's not a holiday, they put it out there, but it's a little bit harder to find. But they push it big during the holidays. And what is that thing, you may ask? They offer a Switch with Mario Kart 8 already loaded on the Switch, or at least they give you a download code for it. That counts as a sale. That counts as a video game sale. Look at The Last of Us Remastered. When I got my PlayStation 4, The Last of Us Remastered was preloaded on the thing. The only thing I had to do was download the patch and bam, I was off and running. That counts as a sale for that video game. You know, it's the same reason why Prince one year did a big party at Paisley Park and gave everybody, he sold tickets to this event at Paisley Park. Everybody who attended the event got one of his Christian albums, because he was into Christian music at the time. Those counted as album sales. These count as game sales. That's one of the huge reasons. It's probably the biggest reason why Mario Kart 8 is so successful. So I think Nintendo's looking at that and going, okay, this is why it's on the sales charts every week. We've been selling a crap ton of Switches during the pandemic. And these Switches are probably, a large portion of them, are probably the bundle that has Mario Kart 8 with it. So Nintendo realizes, that's the reason why maybe it's time to put out a new Mario Kart game. Do I think it's going to happen this year? No. Not at all. Not at all. I don't think it's going to happen at all this year. Why? Switch Pro. More on that in a minute. Donkey Kong. There's a big, huge rumor surrounding Donkey Kong getting a new video game. It's being done by the same people who worked on Mario Odyssey, that team within Nintendo. There's a big debate on whether it's going to be 3D or 2D, like the country games. I think it'll be... rumors are suggesting that it's going to have the same theme as country, with Cranky Kong, Funky Kong, all those. I'm going to go out on a limb on this one. I'm going to say it's 2D Donkey Kong. 2D. So... get ready for that one if it's even there. Let's see, what else? Mario Odyssey 2? No, not this year. Not this year. I have a couple of holy crap ideas that I want to share before we move on to Breath of the Wild 2. which is going to be there. But my one holy crap idea, and this is just an idea, it's not a rumor. I didn't hear it from someone else like Samus Hunter or Nintendo Prime or anybody else or Jeff Grubb. I would love to see, number one, a Final Fantasy VII Remake Pocket Edition for the Switch. It's plain to see that the Switch can't run Remake as it is. And it couldn't run even Final Fantasy 15 like it is. But they released a Pocket Edition of 15 that I thought was just a cheap mobile game, but it's not. I love it. And they put that on the Switch. Why couldn't they do the same with 7 Remake? Maybe because it didn't sell that well. I don't know, but I would love to see it. I'd buy a 7 Remake Pocket Edition that I could play anywhere on the damn road. I would love that. My other holy crap, it'll never happen idea. There was a bit of a forbidden door for a while with Nintendo and Square. Square burnt Nintendo really bad when Final Fantasy VII came out in '98. Nintendo thought that Square was going to continue to be with them, that they were going to release a Mario RPG 2. And then Square decides to, exclusively put Final Fantasy VII, instead of it being on that disc system that Nintendo was planning on releasing for the 64, which never happened in the US. Instead of doing that, Square decides to exclusively put 7 on the PlayStation. And that really pissed Nintendo off for a while. If you notice, they didn't really have many games on the Nintendo back in the day. They really didn't. I mean, during that late 98 period before the GameCube, they did have titles out, but not a main Final Fantasy title. So, and then you creep up to when they put Cloud in Smash. And that kind of, it kind of put some Neosporin on the wound. It didn't put a complete Band-Aid on it. But it kind of put, okay, you're there. Time heals all wounds. Awada's now in charge. Blah, blah, blah. Or at least I don't think Awada was in charge, but he would soon be. And then Final Fantasy games start coming to the Switch. And then the forbidden door really gets kicked open when Sephiroth, last year at the Game Awards, in my opinion, the door got kicked open. The healing really began and really amped up when Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII came into Smash. Got announced for Smash. Huge deal. Reaction videos everywhere. You can go watch them. They're funny. So, what I think, and again, this is just me, wishful thinking, right off the top of my head. I mean, I even mentioned it to Nintendo Prime. Sent him a super chat. And he said something about sales. Well, this game that I'm about to mention sold a lot. It was huge on the Super Nintendo. And then once Nintendo lost that partnership with Square, they went and took a different direction. They had to. And that's Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, which transitioned into the Paper Mario series, which to this day I've never played a Paper Mario. I don't like the art style. I have no desire to play a Paper Mario game. But if they did a remake that is turn-based, you could see the enemies on the screen just like you could with the Super Nintendo version. If they did a remake of Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, that would be mind-blowing. I mean, I would lose my mind. if that happened. It will never happen. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, if not ever. But if it happened, oh my god. Breath of the Wild 2. Let's move on to Breath of the Wild 2. Do I think it's coming this year? No. I've been saying in videos for months now. Months, if not years. The Switch Pro thing has really ramped up within the last year and a half. And I said then, ever since Breath of the Wild 2 got announced 2 years ago, I said it will be released alongside the Switch Pro March of 2022. Or whatever year it came out with, it's going to be March. And it just so happens that it falls on 2022. What is 2022? 2022 is the 5-year anniversary of the Switch. So it makes sense that if they're going to do the Switch Pro, they're going to put Ocarina. They're going to put Breath of the Wild 2 alongside of it on the Pro. Will it be backwards compatible or cross-gen? It's not even really a generation. It's a revamp from what I've heard about the thing. Although the makers of that NVIDIA chip said they're going to stop making that chip at the end of either last year or this year. So if they're having to do a new chipset and they're upgrading the entire thing, I think it may be next-gen hardware. I mean, mid-gen hardware, is that a thing now? When they did the PS4 Pro, would you consider that mid-gen hardware, mid-generation? So I think that Breath of the Wild 2, March of 2022, yes, it would still, kind of do the 35 years of Zelda thing. Because Mario's ended in March. So it still would it ended on March 31st, if I believe. So it would fall in line there at the very tail end of the 35th anniversary. You get the Switch Pro. Again, there's chip shortages out there in the world, so do I believe that everybody's going to be able to snab one of these? No. Hell, I barely got a Switch on launch day. Barely. Had to put $50 down for the damn thing. I was third in line here in Danville to get one. Anyway. Breath of the Wild 2, do I think 2022 release date. Is it going to upset everybody? I don't think so. If you're expecting that game to come out this year, you're fucking kidding yourself. I'm just sorry you are. Do I think we'll get a name reveal? Yes. Do I think we'll get a full-on trailer with voice acting that will give you a gist of the story? Yes. I do think that we will get probably a solid 5 minutes of this direct, or at least, if not more, directed toward Breath of the Wild. Do I think we're going to get at least probably 10 minutes of this direct for Skyward Sword, which is a game that everybody's going to buy, but no one cares about, really, at the end of the day, because they shot themselves in the foot with the Amiibo controversy, which I really don't know why people are really complaining about it, because the DLC for Breath of the Wild kind of broke the game when they installed that teleport coin that you could put down on the map and then teleport anywhere you wanted to and then teleport back to that coin. Wasn't that kind of the same thing? And you had to buy that. They locked it behind a paywall. So let me know in the comments below, is that the same thing? I think it is. It has to be. Do I think we'll see gameplay from Breath of the Wild 2? No. I think we will get that along with a full-on trailer. Not a final trailer, mind you, but I think we'll get a full trailer plus gameplay for that thing. Either December or January. November's locked up with Pokemon. So I don't think we'll see anything in November. I'm going to say late December, early January when we'll see that. Do I think Zelda is going to be playable? Yes. Do I think it's going to run way better on the Switch Pro than on the Switch, regular Switch? Yes. That game, oh my God, I can remember when Breath of the Wild came out for Wii U. Nobody could play the damn thing. It didn't run, you know, 60 frames per second for, at 1080p. Hell, Breath of the Wild on the Switch barely runs that. I don't even think it runs 60. I think it's 30. It may be 60. I'm not quite sure. Um, but be prepared if you decide to buy this thing on the straight up Switch, you better be playing that thing docked. And even when on Breath of the Wild, there's still dropped frames. Go enter Korok Forest. You'll see what I mean. It takes a good 5 minutes for the thing to catch up to you. At least 5 minutes. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have. A new Kirby game has been floated about. A 3D Kirby game at that. I'm going to say no on that one. Bayonetta 3, no. Metroid Prime 4. Maybe a little bit of a trailer. Metroid Prime Trilogy has a greater chance. It found out today that GameStop again has some Legend of Zelda posters that leaked. Doesn't really give us any too much information. Just has a bunch of the characters over the years on it. There's a rumor that we will get Wind Waker and Skyward Sword HD, or Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD in a 2-pack, kind of like an All-Stars type thing. I say go ahead and throw Ocarina in there too. Not Majora. You will find with me that I have a very, very hard time accepting Zelda games that do not take place in Hyrule. It's why I did not buy Link's Awakening, the remake of Link's Awakening. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that we're going to go to the same island, some island, but we're going to reuse the same character models like they did in Majora's Mask. I just don't like it. I never got the concept of it. I don't get the appeal of something. Zelda should take place in Hyrule, not Termina, not the Fish Island, not over here across the world, because then you need to give us a world map. And I don't know if Hyrule Historia did that. If this is all in the same world, Termina, these islands that we visit, everything like that, give us a world map. Now, the fact that they take place in different times, which means there's different iterations of Hyrule, that will probably never happen. Not to mention the timeline factor. Ugh. We still don't know where Breath of the Wild falls in on the timeline. So, I would love to see Ocarina, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, all in the same deal. HD them up. There's a 2D Zelda game rumored to be shown. I hope it's not Ages or Seasons, because they would have to do a 2-pack of those or sell them separately. A lot of people are saying it's going to be a remake of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. I don't see how you can make that into 2D. I really don't see how you can remake that story. I think the 2D Zelda game that is coming is going to be a full-on remake in the same engine of Link's Awakening, only a little bit more Game of Thrones medieval-like-ish. I think it's going to be Link to the Past. That's the only game that no insider, nobody from Jeff Grubb to Nintendo Prime, Spawn Wave, Game Over Jesse even has not mentioned a Link to the Past remake. Take it to Vegas. I think that if there is a 2D Zelda game, it's going to be a Link to the Past remake. And I will lose my mind over that one because I love A Link to the Past. It's my second favorite Zelda, or my third favorite Zelda game. Breath of the Wild is number 1 and Ocarina is number 2. Ocarina was number one until Breath of the Wild came, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. Um, will different amiibos, work with Skyward Sword HD? No. Everybody's saying that it is just the Skyward Sword amiibo, but with Breath of the Wild 2, I got a Metal Mario amiibo, I got a Twilight Princess Link amiibo, and I got a Bogoblin amiibo. Um, if I were to touch the Bogoblin emo on Breath of the Wild, I would get like meat or a spear or something like that. The Metal Mario one would give me hearts or fruit, food or something like that. The Zelda one came with Epona and the Twilight Princess gear for it. I would love to get the Ocarina of Time Zelda amiibo so I could get that. But that, the amiibo thing, I could see why people would be upset, but nobody complained about it when they did the same thing with the DLC in Breath of the Wild. Maybe it's a different dynamic with one being in the sky, you going back and forth to a different land. I could see it if Ocarina of Time, they say, oh, you download, you get this Master Sword or this Ocarina of Time Link amiibo, and you get to go back and forth between the 7-year thing wherever you want. That would be bullshit, because you got to go back to the Temple of Time to make it happen. That was part of the appeal of the game, to me. Anyway, I'm going on 27 minutes here. That's what I think is going to happen. I'll find out tomorrow when Jeff Keighley does his stuff. I'm excited for that. I can't wait for it. Anyway, if you liked what I'm saying here on this glorious background with the E3 stuff on my glorious phone that doesn't do 4K, and I'm using the front-facing camera in landscape mode. But if you like what I'm telling you, if you agree with me, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike button. Give us some feedback in the comments section below, and we'll see you down the road.